This race is brought to you by Nationwide Insurance, official sponsor of NASCAR. Call 1-866-500-5555 or your local agent to get a quote today. Gorgeous pictures from the DirecTV one. Great night for racing here. Under the lights, short track racing in Richmond.
You know what? I keep watching Denny Hamlin. And I think, okay, here comes Paul Menard in the 33. He's got a little something for him. Hamlin picks up the pace. So then I watch Almirola. Here comes Almirola. He's got something for him. Hamlin picks up the pace. I think Denny Hamlin's holding a little bit in the bank just in case somebody does get up there and get after him.
Yeah, we saw Stenhouse Jr. You talked about maybe using up his equipment a little bit too quickly. He's dropped back to the 4th spot now. Kenny Wallace has run up there in the 2nd position, but it has been a dominant Carl Edwards early in this race and now a very dominant Denny Hamlin.
And speaking of Carl Edwards, he's 1 car away from being the lucky dog.
Carl Edwards is running 9th. 8th is the first car a lap down, and that's Josh Wise.
And he's keeping exact pace with our leader, Denny Hamlin. He's marching along about 10, 20, 30 car lengths behind behind Denny. And every time Denny puts one of them a lap down, Carl's comes and gets them and puts them behind him. So Carl's about a back straightaway behind Denny, but he's been able to keep pace.
Hermie Sadler.
Yeah, guys, we just talked about Scott Wimmer, what a great run he was having in the 40 car up inside the top 10. Well, as soon as we got away from that report, the 40 car ran out of fuel on the racetrack. They're not sure if they did not get it full of fuel on the last stop or it was a pickup problem. So Scott came down pit road, got fuel, could not get the car started going down pit road. He then received a pass-through penalty because the team pushed the car down the pit road through too many pit boxes. So a potential really good night for the 40 team gone bad. He is currently outside the top 30 in 32nd spot.
Remember, we're starting to see some of the wave around guys that didn't come in on that last stop, and they're needing fuel, so they're on pit road.
But back to Wimmer in the 40 car. That's just from lack of not being at a racetrack every week, getting into a rhythm in the pits, on the track, behind the wheel. You got to go every week to get good.
Denny Hamlin has led more laps tonight than he had in his previous 10 starts here combined. Coming into this race, he had led 133 laps. He just went over leading 136 laps in this race.
Denny Hamlin drives for Joe Gibbs Racing. You know what? Joe Gibbs Racing has led over half of the laps competed for in 2011.
That's not so bad.
So there's a lot of records going down for that group.
But Denny Hamlin led 380 laps, thereabouts, a year ago, and didn't win the race. Had a flat tire late in the race and ended up not winning it.
We saw a lot the same thing at Martinsville. Had a really dominant car up there in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race and couldn't get to victory lane. Had to pit late when others didn't. Same thing at Phoenix last fall that maybe cost him the championship. So he can lead laps. Can he close tonight?
You know what they say? It ain't over
till it's over. Paul Menard trying to hold off a hard-charging Eric Almirola now. So Almirola trying to take that 2nd spot back from Paul Menard. Like you mentioned, the guy who gets into 2nd looks as though he's going to have something for Denny Hamlin, gets up there, stalls out, and now all of a sudden we've got Eric Almirola trying to take that 2nd spot back once again.
Yeah, I think these other guys are working really, really hard, getting all they can out of their cars. Denny, on the other hand, is saving just a little bit. He's not at 100%. Maybe 95, but not 100.
Darrell, we talked about Carl Edwards fighting to get in that Aaron's Lucky Dog spot, and every time he seems to get there, our leader Denny Hamlin laps another cat. Well, this time he's going to make it. As soon as he makes that pass around Josh Wise, he will be in the Aaron's Lucky Dog spot. Meanwhile, the battle for 2nd is off turn 4 on the left.
Almirola to the inside. He'll take the spot away from Paul Menard as they go by the stripe.
So what we're seeing is we see cars that are pretty good on the short runs. They seem to be like Stenhouse, seem to have made pretty good time. Then we see guys that are pretty good on the long runs like Almirola, and here goes Carl.
That's now the lucky dog spot.
Now he needs a caution.
Lucky dog spot now goes to Carl Edwards once again. The next person that Denny Hamlin can put a lap down is Justin Allgaier. He's 15 seconds behind Hamlin. These guys are running laps right at about 23 seconds.
Carl is the lucky dog, and if he catches the caution, Denny Hamlin will be the unlucky dog because he's got a car good enough to beat Denny Hamlin.
but a caution is a real frequent, rare thing this evening.
It does seem that way, doesn't it?
That is very true, since we've only had one caution, and it came out on lap 125.
For a spin.
Leffler on pit road now in the 38. You see him making his move into his stall, Hermie.
Now, coming down pit road now, Rick, he is 16th. He is a little bit on the free side. They're going to go down 2 rounds on the track bar on the right side to try to tighten him up and finish this thing off with a decent finish.
Now, you saw his brake rotors glowing as he came down pit road. The crew chief will usually tell you, turn your brake blowers off when you come in the pits, because you don't want to blow all that brake dust in the tire changer's eyes. And so you turn them off and then turn them back on. Krista.
This is a scheduled stop for the 7 of Josh Wise. Remember, he stayed out on that last pit sequence to gain track position. He had said at this point he had lost all of his rear grip and the tires were gone. They were holding out, hoping for a caution. They had to come in. They were in their fuel window, almost out. 4 tires for Josh.
Josh Wise making his way back off of pit road. Again, the guys out front pitted on lap 125. We've got just 53 laps to go. We're on lap 198. The 70 on pit road now. Strimmy coming your way, Ray.
Yeah, he was my spotlight driver tonight, Rick, and he's been very happy with his race car. He just talked to the crew chief and said, I think maybe we should take a little bit of air out of the left rear. That'll help me. And then they're going to go ahead and do 4 tires here in this 4 travel race car. David Stremme gives up 11th place on the racetrack to pit at lap 198.
I really like David Stremme. I'm glad he's getting a chance to get back out here and do some racing. Got a great Cup car here this weekend. Out here tonight, going to drive something for Rusty Wallace. Good kid.
6 drivers doing double duty between the Nationwide and Cup racing this weekend. Denny Hamlin, a 4.7 second lead over Eric Almirola, who is now in that second spot. Menard has dropped back to 4th spot as Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has taken 3rd away from him.
I don't know whose radio that was, but 5 more. I guess they're going to pit in 5 more, I think.
Well, the race leaders, I was talking about the numbers, 125 laps. That would mean that they'd probably able to make it around 225 if they're going 100 laps. So they still have 25 laps in that fuel window. But at this point in time, would it be smart to short pit if we're going to continue this green flag running?
The way the cautions are falling, not tonight, no cautions. So yeah, I might take a gamble.
Not if I'm the leader, Denny Hamlin. I think I might just push it for a while if I'm him. But some of these guys are going to have to take a chance if they want to do anything with him.
Roger.
Who will take a chance here at Richmond? Stay with us. More Nationwide Series Racing here on Speed. Welcome back to the Bubba Burger 250, presented on Speed by Nationwide Insurance. Our aerial coverage is brought to you by DirecTV. To get the most sports in HD, call 1-800-DirecTV. Field spread out around this 3/4 mile racetrack here in Richmond, Virginia. Denny Hamlin has a 4.5 second lead over Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who has taken the 2nd spot back over.
Now I know Denny Hamlin, and he's riding along right now thinking, what's going to happen to me tonight? I mean, the guy's had some bad luck, and he's probably thinking that pretty seriously right now.
You think he's going to think he might get paid back for last night? Kyle Busch ran out of gas on the last lap, and he was able to win his own charity race last night. Maybe he thinks that fate will be against him tonight.
39 had some problems. Got almost into the wall. That's Charles Lewandowski.
He looks like he might be out of power.
I don't know, but he was about to be into the wall down here in 3 and 4. He had it up there rim riding.
Got her going again.
You know, he may have a flat tire, Mike, because I saw him go into turn 3 over there, and he just lost it.
Out of fuel.
Out of fuel.
So he'll make his way onto pit road.
Watch, you'll see him come into the picture back here. There he is.
Whoa, good save though, right?
Way up in that loose stuff. You get that on those hot tires, it's like trying to drive on ice. Thing won't turn.
So the big Lewandowski made his way onto pit road. Now, after you run so many green flag laps, you can probably get a little frustrated. And I tell you what, Carl Edwards, we listened into his radio. He's been talking to his spotter about that lucky dog position. Here's what they had to say.
You say something, Carl? So they know what's going on. I will. You're the lucky dog. I'll let you know if it changes. Well, I mean, just give me a heads up, you know, like how far ahead he is, stuff like that. like I've been doing. He's still a half straightaway up. Yeah, just like you've been doing. Sorry to bug you, buddy.
You know what? You know what that reminds me of? It's like you call in and you say, "Is anybody watching this race besides me?" And that's what that sounded like.
Yeah, just like you've been doing. Sorry to bug you.
Now, we talked about a couple things at the beginning: communication and being calm.
Yeah.
That was good communication, but Carl was calm, but he wanted to be mean, didn't he?
That's constructive sarcasm is
Yes.
what that was. I tell you. But you know, Carl he's accustomed to messing with Bob Osborne. He and Bob have got this thing going on, and he'll call Bob up and Bob will say, "I'm sorry," or somebody will say, "I'm sorry, he's not here right now, he went to the bathroom." Or Carl will say, "Got a vibration." Just kidding.
Yeah, just kidding. Roush Fenway Racing, the two white cars, the 66 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. still running in the second spot. Chris Buescher filling in for Trevor Bayne running in the 16.
He's up to the 12th spot, Rick. Just steady progression all night long. It's been really impressive to watch this kid tonight.
We talk about opportunity knocks. Chris Buescher getting into this car. Does this run give him another opportunity with Roush Fenway?
That's happened for some guys that have filled in for drivers and ended up taking the seat because they did such a good job.
Just remember about Matt Kenseth going to Dover and getting in Bill Elliott's car. Man, he took advantage of that, wound up in a Roush car all the time.
Ray Dunlap.
Pound out of the right rear for the number 33, up on the track bar. One round, Paul said it was better than it was on the last run, but still just a little bit tight in the center. They'll loosen it up by raising that track bar. 60 is coming in. Carl Edwards, too. He'll come to the pits.
Out of fuel.
He's out of fuel.
Out of fuel.
That is crazy.
So Carl Edwards, who came onto pit road on lap 125, obviously didn't get it full.
You know what? When they were trying to make up, when they were trying to get back on the lead lap, get that lucky dog, I guarantee you they didn't wait on fuel. They put tires on it and got him out of there, and it's bitten him.
Now he's going to get a speeding penalty. I believe that's too fast entering there. He doesn't have his tack on because he doesn't have his motor running. Looked like to me he came by there a little hot.
Well, he's hot, all right. That steam is coming out of the cockpit.
From between the ears.
That communication won't be calm anymore.
No, that's not going to sound good.
Denny Hamlin still out in front of the field. Stenhouse Jr. runs second. He's 5 seconds back. Al Mirola, Kenny Wallace, and Elliott Sadler, your top 5. We're hearing from NASCAR that he wasn't speeding. So that eye of yours, Michael, might be just a couple miles an hour off.
He's not now for sure.
He will be in a second, though.
This is going to cost him 4 or 5 laps, Darrell.
Oh, yeah, he's done for the night. I mean, we're here with 30 laps to go.
Ray.
Well, you're right. On the radio, Carl Edwards saying sometimes you have a good night, sometimes bad, not so good here. And on top of that, a slow pit stop. Hung up on the left rear a little bit. He stalls it one more time. I don't think he even has the car running now. They'll have to push him backwards because he's so close to the front of the line. Little ether going in there. Remember, the guys cannot push the car past that white line.
Yeah, once it runs out of fuel, it takes a while to get it fired back up. And now all that was a little fuel in the carburetor when it took off, and then it dies, and now you got to get it. I mean, it may not even fire back up.
It took me 4 laps at Talladega to get mine going again when I ran out of gas, so you're right.